Hi, my name is Raquel. I want to thank all new viewers and all returning viewers for coming to watch me today. And today is Sunday the 29th of October. Almost the end of October, and we changed the clocks back 1 hour here in Portugal today, so if you haven't done so, please do so. Otherwise you'll get to the office a bit early tomorrow. And yeah, so still doing, let's go to some administrative things I need to talk about. The sock cal. My initial idea was to close the thread on the 31st. The original deadline was the 31st of October. Now I'm going to be quite busy on the 1st of November, which is a public holiday here in Portugal, but I already have plans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give everyone a couple more days, and I'm going to close the thread on the 5th of November in the morning when I get up. So even if you haven't finished your socks by the 31st of October, just keep knitting. You have until the 4th of November to carry on knitting. I've stopped knitting socks. I mentioned last week that I was getting a bit of my ring finger here on my left hand was getting a bit sore from the way I was holding the needles. I knit with 2.25s. They're quite thin, and it was starting to hurt my finger a bit, so I took a rest from knitting socks. Beside that, I knit the goal. My goal was to do the whole New York sock collection by Mina Phillip, or the Knitting Expat, and I managed to do that, and here they all are, 7 pairs. 7 pairs. So the ones I was working on, I'm not going to go through all of them again. You've seen these 5, and you can go check my show notes for last week and the week before that. I have all the information on the in the show notes there. So I'm going to just talk about these 2 pairs, which is what I've done this week. I'm going to let me put them on the sock blocker so I can talk about them. Now, last week I showed you one finished sock, and I had just started the cuff of the second sock, and I was going to try finish it that day still. Despite all the other things I still had to do, if you recall, if you watched last week, I still had to go make my meals for the week, but I managed to do all that rather quickly, and I still managed to finish the second sock of the pair. So now I have a nice pair. These were the Central Park socks in the collection, so they have a bit of lace. I did these 64 stitches because the lace does tend to stretch a bit, so I'm quite happy with these. And I had quite a bit of yarn left over. I probably, if I'd gone up to a larger stitch count in the leg, I probably could have done a couple more repeats in the leg, but I'm happy with the way they are. So that's one I finished on Sunday, so I managed to reach my goal of finishing it on Sunday. And I contemplated starting the next pair, but I was like, no, I'll just start them on Monday, and I managed to finish them on Thursday. Now with these socks, what I did was, because you can't really see the stitch pattern too well on this yarn, because I used this tiger yarn here, I just did them on the front, and you can see some patterning on the front. I'm going to get the other sock for you and do it so that you can see. You won't be able to see what the pattern is, but you will see that there's some patterning on there. It's quite easy to do, and like I said, I wasn't sure it was really going to show up, because I started knitting this on Monday in the morning before going to the office, so it was still dark. I mean, I have a lamp that I use obviously when I'm working, but yeah, it was still, it's really mostly black yarn, so it was hard to see what I was doing, and I decided to just do the patterning on the front and keep the back plain. See, also because I didn't know how stretchy it was going to be. It turns out to be quite stretchy, and probably next time what I'll do is, just to be on the safe side, I'll go up a stitch count and do the patterning all the way around the leg. So that's my 2 finished pairs of socks for the week. And then, like I said, I finished these on Thursday evening. Yeah, Thursday evening. So then I decided to, like I said, give my hand a rest from knitting on such small circumference, and I decided to pick up my sock blankets, my pinwheel block blanket, and so weave in ends of the blocks. I hadn't woven ends in yet. And then on Friday I knit this block, which is now for row 6. And these are all minis that I got from a viewer of the podcast, so thanks again, Philippa. I'm finally using them. There was a whole bunch of single ply yarns, so I'm going to use, for this row, I'm just going to use the single ply yarns. And I found one of mine that I'd used already in a previous block to add to it, so that I have enough to make the 6 blocks. So like I said, this was the first one I did on Friday, and my blocks aren't all exactly the same, but I'm not too worried about that. Once I attach them all to the blanket, they tend to stretch out the way they're supposed to. This is the one I did yesterday. It's mostly one color. Basically, you can pretty much see that from here just to here is one little ball of yarn that she gave me, and then here is the start of the second one, and it finished here. So that the third square I'm going to be starting is going to start with this one, and is going to carry on into the next one, and I'm just going to do them like that. I've tried to do it. The idea was to do sort of a gradient effect, but there's multiple colors in all the little balls, single ply yarn. They're not all singles, but they're all they look like singles. They're very loosely twisted, so I'm going to use these ones for yeah, and just do one row of this one, and then I'll know that they come from. And then I have a whole bunch of other minis that were in the pack that I'm gonna just start incorporating into the next 2 rows. Because after this row, I have 2 more rows to do to make the blanket the way I want, the size I wanted it. So these are the 2 blocks I've done, and I've woven in ends already. That saves me time in the end, because I did not like doing that on Friday, weaving in ends. So let me show you what I've done. I've attached row 4 yesterday, and I started attaching row 5 today, but I've not quite finished. I have 2 more blocks to attach. So I'll show you the blanket so far. I'm going to have to move back a bit because you won't be able to see all of it. So I have row 1, row 2, and no, sorry, I'm holding this completely wrong. Here. So row 1, row 2, and row 3 were already on the blankets last time I showed you, and yesterday I attached row 4. So and row 4 was all let me fold this so I can go through the blocks. Basically, I started with all the yarns, all the sock yarn that I started using this year. This starts here with the Sock Madness. These 2 here were for shawl I knit. Then it carries on with Sock Madness and another shawl, and then a cowl, some more socks. This square here is the only one that is not from this year. It's from last year's October, Socktober. And I have several of these blocks in the blanket, and then I carried on with yarn used this year in socks or in other projects. And then I started, like I said, I started attaching row 5 this morning, so that's these 4 blocks so far, and I'll have these 2 to attach as well. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to finish attaching these 2 blocks to the blanket, and then hopefully get another 2 knit up, so that I can start attaching those as well. And then for November, I'm going to focus on trying to get 2 sweaters done. There's the hoodie shawl cardigan, which I had planned for September, but I didn't get around to it. So I'm going to do that one. And then there's 2 or 3 Isabel Kramer patterns that I would like to try and knit up. One of them I'm pretty sure which yarn I'm going to be using to make it, so I'll probably start with that one. The other one requires a lace weight yarn, and I either have very thin lace weight or like not enough of the heavier lace weight yarn that they recommend. So I don't want to buy any yarn either at the moment. So I'm thinking maybe I'll knit that up in a fingering weight yarn and just knit a smaller size probably, depending on gauge and everything, but probably what I'm going to be doing. It's pretty much a plain sweater and then has some lace on the bottom, so it's going to have to be a pretty tonal color. I wouldn't want to use too much of a variegated color to make that sweater. The other one has a stitch patterning, so if it's slightly variegated, I'm not too bothered about it. Like I said, I think I already know which yarn I'm going to be using for that. It's some Yarn Adventures sock yarn that I have in my stash. That was from the club that Filomena did together with Rosario and Paula, from Rosario from Donna Maria and Paula from Dai Alfinet. And they had a club going for a couple of for maybe like they did 2 or 3 sessions of the club, and now they've they each have busy lives, so they've stopped that for the moment, but I'm sure they'll be back with that. So I've got nothing else to say today. Sorry about that. Yeah, the weather is still warm. The week before, so not this week past, but the week before that we had rain pretty much the whole week. This week temperatures has stopped raining. It's dry again, and temperatures have been around 25 degrees every day. Hence me still wearing pretty low cut t-shirts, and even at night it's not cold. I take my dogs out for a walk around 11:30 or so. That's like their last walk of the day, and I've not been taking my cardigan outside with me because it's still warm. There has been a bit of wind. This morning the wind picked up a bit, and it was, I wouldn't say a cold breeze, it was quite nice actually. But when that is blowing, you do need a cardigan, especially if you're walking in the shade. But in the sun at the moment, it's really warm outside. Today is 25 degrees, and I've been outside. That's why you don't hear the dogs or the cats, because they're all sleeping. They've just been outside for a walk, and it's nice and warm outside. So I don't know, it looks like Halloween, which is the 31st, is on Tuesday, is going to be a very nice warm day instead of cold like it's supposed to be. I don't mind the warmth at all, but we're getting, we're in autumn now, and I want it to start getting a bit colder. I don't mind that during the day it's up to 15 degrees or so, but I'd like for it to start getting a bit colder so I can actually wear the sweaters and the shawls that I make, because at the moment it's too warm to wear them. So, but it's been the usual at the office, so not too busy or anything, and I've been able to get home at a decent hour to play with the dogs, play with the cats, and take them for walks. I'm looking over there because that's where 2 of them are. The Rusty and Soot, so that's the male dog and the cat, they've been playing quite a lot lately. Soot likes to antagonize Rusty, especially when he's sleeping. When Rusty's sleeping on the couch, Soot will sneak up on him and just jump on top of him and you know, Rusty, poor thing, he's sleeping, he doesn't like that, so it's been funny to watch. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at this, another short episode today. I hope you guys don't mind. Once I have more things to show you, you know, I'll have longer episodes, but for now this is what it is. And I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm going to quickly edit and upload this so I can carry on with my blankets and watch some podcasts that I want to catch up on, and maybe watch some TV and take the dogs out for a couple more walks. So have a nice day. Bye.